Well, I watched this video today because one of my friends posted. I'm not going to put her name out or anything, and it was talking about miscarriages and stuff. And as most of you know, or should know, I had a miscarriage, and I was 12 weeks and 3 days when I found out that I had a miscarriage. And it was really devastating. And if you've known me forever, which most of you have, because most of you are people I know in real life, you know that I always talked about being a mom. I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always had that sensation of being a mom. I've never ever wanted to be anything more in my life than a mother. So, at the time I was with my soon-to-be ex-husband. I know I still haven't got divorced yet, but that's a later story. And so, when I found out my test was positive when I was pregnant, I was so excited. Beyond excited, because me and him were trying to get pregnant a few months prior, and it didn't work. And we're like, oh. And you know that whole thing, like, oh, once you stop, really looking at it and you start having fun, that you'll get pregnant. That is true. That is what happened to me. I was pregnant literally the next month after I decided, you know what, I'm not going to try this month. And I actually remember the day that I got pregnant. I remember, the day pretty well. And I remember the day that, I found out I was pregnant. It was May 19th is the day that I found out I was pregnant. And it was 2013. And, I was so excited. Literally, I was missing my period. I had no other symptoms other than my breast kind of hurt and I was missing my period. So I took a pregnancy test because I had a few. I've only had one left, literally one left, but I had a box that had 5 in them, I think 3 or 5. But I had one left, and I didn't want to take it too early because, so I had to wait until it was 30. I want to say it was 33 days past my period, when you get yours on the 28th if you have a normal cycle, which was pretty normal. And so I took it 33 days after my last period, and it came out positive, and I was so excited. It was the best feeling in the world. And my pregnancy seemed pretty normal. I had crazy nauseousness, and that's also another symptom I had. I was really, 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 really nauseous. And I looked at my husband, and I was like, I think I'm pregnant. And he's like, are you sure? I was like, well, I won't really know until the 19th. And that's how I know it's the 19th, because I kept repeating it. I'm gonna find out the 19th, gonna find out the 19th, blah, blah, blah. I had a calendar on my bathroom door that had the day circle and said, test this day. Literally, test. And, so I was pregnant for 3 days, and so I took it the morning of, and literally I woke up, and I accidentally woke him up getting up because, I don't know, I guess I moved funky. So I walked into the bedroom, he's just getting up, he's playing on his phone. I said, hey, guess what, hon? I'm pregnant. He's like, no. So then we ran downstairs. We told his mom. She was doing laundry. She was excited. She gave us a hug. Later that night, I went to church, and I told them, I'm pregnant. And they were all excited because my one friend / his, niece just had a baby. So it was, really exciting. Oh, yay, a baby just popped up when, a pregnancy after a baby. Yay. Anyways, so time passes. I'm not going to get into too much detail why I think I miscarried, but, most miscarriages, they don't know. And normally with your first miscarriage, they don't test unless you really, really want it, and it's pretty expensive, and, most times you'll get pregnant and the first time you'll have a miscarriage. Anyways, to make the story shorter, because I feel like I'm rambling on. So, July 11th, really late at night, I was on the phone with my sister, and I got off the phone with my sister because my stomach hurt, so I was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom on the phone with her, and she knows, I'm weird. I talk to my sister on the phone while I'm going to the bathroom. Oh, well, sue me. Anyways, so I was like, hey, Kim, I'll call you back later. I have to wash my hands or something. I told her that. After I looked on the toilet paper, I saw blood on it. And it was like a pretty decent amount of blood. Like, normally the amount that I get when I first start my period. Whatever. Too much information? Oh, well, you're the one listening to the story. Anyways, so I got off the phone with her, and I walked over to my husband. I said, look at this. There's blood on it. So, I think somehow I, talked to my niece, or his niece, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it. That happened to me. Everything's fine. You're being too worried, too paranoid, which I guess, this being my first pregnancy, I guess I was, but at the same time, blood is blood. It doesn't matter, even if it, came, when I was 20 weeks or 40 weeks. I don't care. Blood is blood, and I'm scared, and I'm going to the hospital. So, I called the people on call, and it took forever to call back, and I was getting scared. And so I think I called the paramedics, and I was like, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm bleeding, blah, I'm only 12 weeks pregnant, whatever. So the police chief came, which was really weird because he was he knew my husband, so it was really weird. And I was telling him all my symptoms, and he's a guy, and it's really weird. And they told me to lay down because, they didn't want me to get lightheaded and pass out and hit my head and this and that. And so I lied down, did all that. They came, they took me to the hospital. I'm sitting in the room, and I keep thinking to myself, oh, I'm not miscarrying, because, I'm fine. I'm just bleeding a little bit, whatever. So I'm shaking because I'm freaking out because I'm oh, what if? But at the same time, miscarriage did not come to my mind because I didn't know miscarriage was this common. I didn't know this was oh, gonna happen to me because my mom had 3 children. She never had any miscarriages, this and that. So, anyways, try to make the story shorter, but it's overwhelming to talk about this because it's not that I'm scared or anything. It's just literally the whole time from the moment I found out I was pregnant to the moment of my miscarriage has played over and over and over in my head. Anyways, so they set up an ultrasound, but they seem oh, it's not a miscarriage, but we're gonna check you anyways. Everything seems fine. You have your mucus plug. Everything looks good. I was cool. So I went to get my ultrasound, and she's oh, your baby looks good. Your baby looks good. Oh, look at that, and stuff. And so, and she's oh, here's your baby. Okay, yeah, your baby looks fine. It's connected the way it's supposed to. Everything looks correctly. There's the sac. And she did say that the sac was a little bit big, but she wasn't really concerned. It didn't have any concern in her. She said, oh, the sac's a little big, but that's normal. It's okay. You're fine. So she's okay, now we're going to check for the heartbeat. And she was moving around, and she's huh. And she kept, she was moving too much, and I heard nothing. It was literally silent. Me and my husband, I hate calling him that, but I hate calling him by his name. Anyways, we were sitting there, and it was silent. Me and him didn't talk. I swear, all you could hear is, us breathing. And it was so quiet. And then she's like, oh, no. And I'm what? And she's I hate to tell you this, but I don't hear a heartbeat. I don't see it. I'm looking around, and I don't see a heartbeat. And those are the most devastating words that you can tell someone that's pregnant, is that you don't hear a heartbeat. And sorry, I'm trying not to cry, because I know this happened almost 3 years ago next month. But anyways, so she told me to go into the bathroom and wipe up, and I literally didn't cry. I was in, complete shock that literally my mind was, completely blank. It was 100% blank, and it was so, and I kept picturing the ultrasound. I kept picturing, I saw its nose, I saw its face, the kind of the lips, the hands, the toes, they were a little bit, because I'm only 12 weeks or whatever. Or 11 weeks, because, Anyways, so, like, I saw a little bit of the toes, a little bit of the thing, the nose, blah, blah. And, yeah. So, it was devastating, and I am not afraid to talk about my miscarriage. It might make me really emotional, but this is a common thing that happens. 25% of women, their pregnancies will end in miscarriage, and I bet the number's even higher, because let's look at you're pregnant, like, literally 3-4 weeks, and you don't even know, so who knows, And so that was really devastating, and yeah, it's crazy to love something that you never met. It feels like loving an imaginary friend. That's what it literally feels like, because no one sees them, no one felt the way I felt, no one knows, like, instead, if this happened to you, this, like, seems unreal. Like, even when I talk about it, it seems like, both in a sense that it happened to me, but I make it feel like it happened to someone else just because it feels like that. And I'm sorry this video is extra long. This video was really supposed to be about, like, oh, miscarriage happens, it's okay, I love you, and I've been there, and if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. Well, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to try to cut this video short because I'm almost at 12 minutes, and that's ridiculous. And if you made it to the end, congratulations, thank you so much. I love you. And miscarriage happens, it normally happens the first time you're pregnant, and that's okay. It's okay. Keep trying, and one day you'll have a beautiful baby in your arms. Even if you can't have a baby, like, through your body, maybe you can adopt. Adoption is a great, beautiful thing, and I've wanted to adopt children even way before this miscarriage happened, way before I even knew that this could happen to my body, and I'm still going to adopt whether I can have children or not. And I love you guys. Have a great day, and happy Father's Day, because I'll be posting this on Father's Day, and see ya, bye, mwah!